Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Hello there, good morning, and welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television. My name is Henry Uzo, and of course, I'm in the studio with Success Benjamin.
Good to see you, Henry. How are you doing today?
I do very great, and of course, yesterday was Father's Day. We were celebrated in church. I don't know, how do you see Father's Day? Do you think fathers, sincerely, since you're of the opposite sex, do you think fathers should be celebrated?
Of course, I agree totally that fathers need to be celebrated at least 3 times a year. Is not a bad idea anyway.
3 times a year, not once.
Yes.
All right,
3
but
times a
United
year.
Nations has approved once a year, and of course it's on Sunday. So
Yeah.
mostly churches celebrated fathers, and it was good. I got a gift from my wife.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
That was a beautiful
Then,
experience.
of course, we heard of the news of the re-election of the Ekiti governor.
Yes.
And the way the result came promptly, I don't know. Does that give us hope for what is happening? Is it because it's a restricted election?
I don't know, but I just believe that INEC did their job. So whatever the result is, we'll accept in good faith.
One interesting thing, though, is that this is the first time that we're having a governor re-elected in Ekiti. It has always been one governor knocked out, another governor comes in, just like that. So congratulations to Oyebanji and, of course, the APC in Ekiti State. That's how we begin this morning on Morning Dew. We are going to take you around the headlines in the newspapers. And, of course, news update will come. Quite a lot coming. Just stay with us. We'll be back. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Hello there, welcome back. And of course, we continue Morning Dew with the news updates. Success has the news update.
Welcome to Morning Dew. Rise and shine, your day just got started, where we bring you top stories and headlines around the globe. The federal government has approved several international routes for United Nigeria Airlines, including New York, Canada, and Dubai. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, said they are approval of part of efforts to strengthen Nigerian airlines and increase their participation in international air travels. He said the routes were approved ahead of the airline's planned expansion to help it build capacity for future international operations. The announcement came as the United Nigeria Airlines unveiled 2 Boeing 737-800NG aircraft named after the Obi of Onitsha, Nnameka Achebe, and renowned novelist Chinua Achebe. The airline says the new aircraft are part of its fleet expansion program aimed at improving domestic and international connectivity. The minister also disclosed that discussions are ongoing to establish direct cargo flights between China and Enugu to boost trade and logistics in the region. Now over to Ekiti State gubernatorial election. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Biodun Oyebanji of the All Progressive Congress, APC, winner of the Ekiti State governorship election. Announcing the final results in Ado Ekiti, the state capital, INEC said Oyebanji polled 319,224 votes to defeat his closest rival, Wole Oluwade of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, who secured 40,543 votes. While the African Democratic Congress, ADC candidate Oluwadari Bijide Bejide came third with 12,872 votes. A total of 384,940 voters were accredited for the election, while 6,332 votes were declared invalid. With the victory, Oyebanji secured a second term as governor and extends the APC control of Ekiti State for another 4 years. And on entertainment, Pella Jarvis tied the knot in Edo State. Popular Nigerian content creators and TikTok stars Pella and Jarvis Jadrolita have completed their traditional marriage rites in Benin City, Edo State. The ceremony saw Pella formally pay Jarvis bride price in the presence of both families, marking a significant step in their relationship. The development comes months after Pella's public marriage proposal, which attracted widespread attention on social media. Family members, including Pella's mother, publicly expressed their support for the union. The couple is also expected to hold a white wedding ceremony at the later date. Now, Trump's calling on UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer to resign. The United States President Donald Trump has claimed that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer will resign from office amid growing political pressure within the Labour Party. In a post on Trump Truth Social, Trump criticized Starmer's handling of immigration and energy policies, stating that the British leader had failed badly. The comments come as reports indicate that Starmer is considered his political future following mounting calls for him to step down after recent political setbacks. However, Downing Street said the Prime Minister had not spoken with President Trump over the weekend and no official resignation announcement had been made so far. DJ Vance sees peace and prosperity as talk begins. U.S. Vice President DJ Vance has described ongoing talks in Switzerland as historic, expressing hope for peace and prosperity in the region. The negotiations involved the United States, Iran, Pakistan, and Qatar and focused on easing tensions, addressing Iran's nuclear ambitions, and improving regional stability. Vance said the U.S. is willing to improve relations with Iran if Tehran abandons its pursuit of nuclear weapons. The talks are also expected to address sanctions, Iranian access, the Strait of Hormuz, and ceasefire in Lebanon. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump has warned Iran of possible consequences if Hezbollah continues its operation in Lebanon. Now that's the news update from the Morning Dew Show. What did you see about the Prime Minister, the UK Prime Minister resigning?
Well, it's speculative because, yes, there's growing issues, just like we're saying, about our parties in the country. Growing issues, intra-party squabbles and all that. But you speculate. But to resign is not that easy. But I know in their climb, once they notice that they are no longer popular, they resign. But from the news update, I think there's a lot of people to congratulate. To congratulate the governor of Ekiti State.
Yes, the governor of Ekiti State.
And then this young couple, Pella and Jarvis.
Yes.
Well, we wish them well. We hope that they will mature into the marriage. Well, we hold it there. Take a break. We'll come back for the newspaper headlines. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak. Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Paper review, we start with the headlines. On our own dear Pointer newspaper, we have Tinubu, Oborewori, Others celebrate APC's victory.
Mm.
Governor promises more democratic dividends to Deltans. That's Governor Boriwo. Then, of course, Father's Day was celebrated yesterday, and Father's Day sermon says, "Fatherhood not about control," says Catholic priests. And of course, Delta targets global investors, industrial boom in Econ summits. That's from the pointer. So, success.
And also we have here from Vanguard, the front page of Vanguard saying troops block escape routes as terrorists reduce demands. Also we have the how APC swept Ekiti State, 5 by-elections lost Rivers to PDP. Also we have the oil sector, reps threatening sanctions over poor PIA implementation. And also we have where we see the wet season farming saying frustration hits farmers over sharp rise in input costs.
All right, over to this day, we have presidency list Tinubu's milestone says federal revenue rose from 12 trillion to 21 trillion. Then, of course, the banner headline, Tinubu, Oyebanji's re-election, clear vote of confidence in continuity, stability, and of course, development. How APC swept, okay, that's, yes, Trump says Starmer will resign as UK Prime Minister considers future. That's all that on this day.
And over to Daily Sun, we have on the front page of Daily Sun saying, Daily Sun, flood, windstorm, destroy shops. Also farmlands in Emboyi State. And also we have Orire adoption, hope rises for adopted pupils, teachers, security operatives, and Seku Forest step up rescue efforts. Abdul Salami mobilizes Nigerians against terrorism. And we'll also have here saying Mr. Infrastructure talking about the award for the day. So over to the Punch.
The Punch.
Yes.
Now, on the Punch, we have 5 Deputy Controllers General to lead 1,416 officers out of customs. And of course, for those who bank with OPE, I don't know whether we're doing that, but OPE expands presence in Nigeria with new Kaduna office launch. And of course, up there, Ekiti governorship poll, Tinubu hails Oyebanji as ADC, PDP reject results.
Okay. And that's for the Punch. So we'll have here the nation still on Oyebanji victory at the Ekiti State governorship election, saying how Oyebanji won. Victorious governor visit PDP rival. President urges winner to be humble. And also we have here Senate. APC wins in Ondo, Enugu, Nasarawa. Orire tightened security raises tightens as security raises hope of release. And CBN here targets $151.04 billion external reserves by December. And no religious persecution evidence in Nigeria, says UN official.
All right, The Guardian this time. From airports to airlines, governors sink over 500 billion naira in new carriers fleet. That's on page 6 of The Guardian. And of course, Oyebanji re-elected in landslide victory as observers identify gaps ahead of Osun polls. That's on The Guardian.
And on Daily Times, we have false hope as local governments say kidnapped victims still in captivity despite Igboho's 2-hour ultimatum. That's on the front line. We have ex-minister Rejects Nasarawa by-election, demands cancellation over alleged irregularities. Naira firms as external reserves hit $51 billion, highest in 17 years.
All right, Nigerian Tribune is next. Insecurity to top agenda as senators reconvene tomorrow. Akpabio, Oshomole's feud may deepen. That's on the Tribune. And of course, up there, Orire abduction. Troops closed in on kidnappers' hideouts.
Now, the Nigerian News Direct front page of saying domestic production surges as fuel imports consumption plummet reports. Okay, so we have taxpayers to file pending 2025 returns under repealed laws.
All right.
Sanwo-Olu orders immediate waste evacuation across Lagos. Police disrupt court initiation in Isara Remo, arrest 30 suspects.
Okay. The next one is Leadership Weekend 2027. All eyes on Amupita as Ekiti elects new governor. That was at the weekend. Okay, this one is belated. It's a weekend paper. All right, you take the last one on Daily Trust.
Oh, okay. So Daily Trust paper, the Daily Trust front page have Tuji's new appearance sparks concern.
Business Day. Nigeria stocks shared 8.24 trillion naira as investors pull profit. Well, all that are the headlines for today. We'll go on break again. Stay with us. As we come back, we'll be handling some critical issues for analysis.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Straight up to the analysis of some key reports in the papers. We are concerned first about the report on the Pointer newspaper. Yesterday, fathers were celebrated across the globe, and a Catholic priest preached a message on the need for fathers to ensure that they don't use their position to control, that fatherhood is not about control. I just wonder, as a father, is that the first message to preach or the best message to preach? So what's your take on that admonition?
Yesterday
That fathers
was,
should not be controlling.
yesterday was actually Father's Day.
Yes.
So it is not just about celebrating them, but also letting them know that both the mothers has a place in the home as well.
Yeah.
Because in this part of the world where we came from, we have this men and head of the family mentality out there. Like the man will want to say, I am the head of the home, I am the head of the family, so whatever I say stands, being authoritative. But even there in the Bible says, love your wife just as Christ loved the church.
Okay.
So that place of love has to come in, so the home will run smoothly and there will be peace, happiness, and joy in the home. So that's kind of sermon. Yes, it's a welcome one to actually put a balance in the home.
Okay.
I don't know how you say it, but it has to put a balance in the home, both the father, the mother, and the children. Because sometimes your child might be saying something very correct, but because of I am the head of the family, so whatever I say stands. And you see that when you do whatever you say stands, sometimes things might just go wrong along the way. So please, it's a good message. It's a good message.
All right. For my part, I think yes, men should be, made to know the enormous responsibility on their shoulders, because they strike a balance in the home. They stand between love and discipline, and of course, it's a whole responsibility for the man. Yes, while we celebrated yesterday, or were celebrated, it's good for every man out there to know that they should cast a vision for their children. They should ensure that what God wants the children to be is what they are doing. That's why every father should depend on God for the raising and the running of their homes. That sermon, I think, like you said, is timely, and it's because we know some men take laws into their hands. There are so many men who, in the issue of running of their home is about what I say, not what I do. If I say do this, just do it. Don't look at what I do. But as a father, you have to cast the vision. You have to lead by example. The Bible says, train up the child the way he should go, that when he grows, he will not depart. And to train does not mean sit down, shut up. It means when you look at the train is composed of coaches and then the engine. The engine is linked to a coach, and every coach is linked to the other. So wherever the engine goes, that's where the coaches go. That's the train. So a father should be in front, lead the family, conduct his affairs in the way that he wants his children and his wife to conduct themselves, and of course, provide for the family. Now,
one key aspect.
I know that is going to jack you up. But let me ask you, in this modern time, let's balance things, because we are having issues even in the church. They quote this scripture in the 1 Timothy 6:10 that a man who cannot provide for his home is worse than an infidel. But actually, the Bible was not talking about man there. The Bible was talking about anybody who has a widow and cannot provide for the widow, a widow in his house. It's worse than an infidel. It's about widows. But then, what about a situation where the husband is working now? Because in those days, women are usually a support group to their husbands. But now you find that sometimes the woman is working and earns more money than the husband and still expecting the husband to provide for the family. Where do we strike the balance? Success.
From the Bible days.
The man is earning, the woman is earning. So to what extent can she participate in running of the home in terms of provision? I just want your honest opinion.
This is my honest opinion. If you want my honest opinion.
Yes.
The woman is an helpmate. All right.
Okay.
So the man provides for the family.
And the woman is helping.
The woman supports in a way.
That's what I'm
sometimes.
saying. What level of support in terms of provision? I would like,
not 100%,
because this is a very controversial.
Not 100%.
No, definitely not. Any man who is waiting for the wife to provide 100% has lost his position anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What we are saying is, for instance, you now, let's take for instance, your husband is working, you are working. You are all, let's say you are all civil servants earning about the same salary, because these days, we all graduate from university before we talk about marriage. Now, what percentage of contribution do you think as a woman you can give to support your husband? Be sincere.
That's, to me, I feel that is personal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to suggest for us.
I'm not suggesting.
We
so
still,
it's personal,
leave that issue
yes.
hanging. It's been there. It's controversial. It's there in the modern times.
Mm-hmm.
In those days, we had no problem. Of course, for a man, life was about culture. That is tilling the ground, farming. And so some men, as a way of getting more help, they marry more wives, have more children and all that. So a woman was not actually earning income. But of course, she has her own crop in the farm. Yes. At the end of the day, we can use the cassava to cook. We can use melon to cook. We don't buy it. So the man provides. But these days, well, so be it.
These days that we don't go into farming.
Let's see how we keep managing. Let's see how we keep managing as men. God will help us on this matter. But kudos to every man out there, every father out there.
Every father out there.
Because being a father is not just about having children. It's about having a home, being a man over a family. All right. We go to the issue of the election victory of the incumbent governor of Ekiti State, talking about Biodun Oyebanji. The results, even as we read in our news update, is that he won landslide, as we always say.
Yes.
Now, can we speak to that? How the way the result came out early? I was impressed.
Yes.
Is it because it was a restricted election?
One other way.
So, say something about that.
That is one of the things that actually struck my attention. Like,
okay.
Really? So INEC can actually work this way, like having these results coming on time. The result was timely and encouraging.
Yes.
So if we could have election results coming early as this, just as we have seen in the Ekiti State gubernatorial election.
Yes.
It's a good step. I want to commend the INEC, the National Electoral Commission, for this one. Okay. It's a good step. So they did, to me, they did wonderfully well. So right. And also congratulating the governor making an history.
Yeah.
Making an history in Ekiti State.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first person to be returned.
To be re-elected into
for a second
office.
tenure.
And also giving APC another victory.
All right. I see that you are partisan. But what I'm looking at, of course, we also have aspects of the report that says ADC and PDP are rejecting the election. Now, when are we going to see a culture of when election has concluded and somebody will go ahead and straight up congratulate the person that won? We always have this issue that when you don't win, even if you know your support group is very low, you still say, oh, the election was mad with irregularities, you create a manner of. Are we going to mature to a level where once we know that the election was won and lost, the so-called loser gallantly says to the winner, congratulations? Do we expect to be seeing that soon?
From yesterday's reports, we'll also see where the winner, the Ekiti State governor that has been re-elected into office, pays visit to his opponents, the PDP leader. And also, I don't know of the ATC, but the ATC coming out to say there are some irregularities in the election, saying one of them said his driver was beaten and has been hospitalized, and that there are votes buying as well. But that wasn't, I really can't say for now, but there will always someone who will not
who will feel disgruntled.
agree, yes, who will not want to agree with whatever results or whatever the outcomes of the results are. There's always someone who will not want to agree with it, because I feel it has to be me. Why am I not the winner?
Okay.
So we see in court. That's one of the slogans. We see in court. Let's go to court. So they will always come out to disagree with whatever results coming up.
All right, that does it. We hope that sets the pace for a free, fair, and credible elections come 2027. So much on the election. We'll take a break now. We'll be back to continue with the analysis.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you for staying with us always. We continue with a review of the papers, and we hear how there's hope that Amotoku group, the community policing in the Odua area, they say they have surrounded the forests. So hope is rising for the release of the abducted school children and their teachers. But the question I want to ask, and I want you to take it from there, Amotoku has always been there, and they touted themselves to be very, very effective all this while in policing the Odua area. Now they are talking about surrounding the place. Is it coming too little too late? Because some people are calling this, giving us false hope.
Yes, because if you're saying hope is rising, we should see results.
Okay.
We should see results, because the Orire school pupils and teachers are still in captivity. So having these victims still in captivity, how are you saying our hopes is rising? At least we should get a result that this person has been released. They have been
the
found.
hope is that they are telling them they have surrounded the forest. So no escape for the abductors. That's the hope. So, but I'm concerned about when it's coming. It's coming a little too late for me, because I felt that even though you don't talk about security, what you are doing, that's one of the axioms and the counsel they give concerning security. What you are doing as a security agent to nip issues in the bud, you don't say it out. You don't give out your strategy to the opponent. But you see, coming to the papers to tell us a month and days after the abduction that you have surrounded the bush.
So what's next?
We will expect to hear
what's next after surrounding the bush. So how do you get these persons in captivity?
Yes.
How do you bring them out? How do you rescue them? What is your strategy on going about rescuing these persons in captivity?
That's what we expect.
That's what we want to hear.
Result.
Because it has actually lingered for too long. So that is what we want to hear, that this person has been released, they have been brought back to their families and loved ones, not just surrounding the forest. What's next after surrounding the forest? What next?
All right. We hope that in the near future, in a few days, we'll hear that Amotoku, instead of the Nigerian security forces or in combination with them, have secured the release of the school children that have been abducted for over a month now. What we want to hear is good news. Now, this other one is interesting about Trump. Trump says that Starmer, the UK Prime Minister, will resign as UK Prime Minister considers future. Now, let's look at this interference, for instance. We've not read the details, but Trump telling us that the UK Prime Minister will resign. Is that not political interference? Is it the one to say it?
He should have allowed at least Kistama to come out and say, yes, I want to resign.
Because of...
okay, I am dropping or signing my resignation later. He should allow the man do it. So it's not you coming out first to tell us that Kistama will resign, okay, or Kistama has to resign. So yes, I think where they are faulting Kistama, which is the UK Prime Minister, where they are faulting him is he is not doing well in the place of immigration and oil and so on and so forth. And secondly, that he has lost his popularity in the state. So these are reasons for him to resign, that politically he has not done well, and politically it does not have the how do I call it, the presence. He doesn't have the presence, he does not have the popularity to, to lead or to carry the people along. So so I don't know, but let's see what really comes out of it, because to me, I feel Kistama is okay, like coming up with, I think you can hear, was it last week? Yes. When it says they are banning the ban of use of
the use of social media by children.
Yes. So that is a good step.
Yeah.
It's a good leader. Policy. That is a good policy of a good leader. So how do you want such a person or such a man to just resign, not giving him enough time to really, express his fears of leadership?
Well, we wait to see what happens. What I notice is that everybody's interested in their own interests. In politics, there's no permanent friend, no permanent foe, permanent interest. So if America is expecting Starmer to resign, it's because maybe his policies don't favor America. We wait to see what happens. Now, the Tribune is telling us that the Senate is reconvening this week. And top on the agenda is the issue of security. It goes without saying that the issue of security should not only be discussed, but policies and statements and actions should be taken to mitigate the level of violence, the level of abduction, the level of kidnapping, and of course, shedding of blood in the length and breadth of our nation. So if you were to add your voice, how will you prompt the Senate on this matter?
They should just do what is right.
Okay.
Right now, what the country needs is doing the right thing to curb this issue of insecurity here, insecurity there. It's becoming alarming. It's becoming too much for the citizens to bear. Each day we wake up expecting which news or story on kidnapping to expect, from which region. It's becoming so too much alarming for the citizens. So alarming. There's a word I really want to use for it, but it's becoming so alarming. It's now becoming used to us.
Yeah.
Yes, the next story we want to hear.
The unusual normal.
Or the unusual normal.
Yeah.
The unusual normal. And it's unusual, but becoming normal to us that, today we're going to hear one story of kidnapping here. Today we're going to hear one story of banditry. Today we're going to hear one story of adoption. No, it shouldn't be like that. It shouldn't be like that. We are a country that God has actually blessed with everything, and we deserve to live the life peacefully and with having security as our watchword.
Yeah.
Not having insecurity issues. Security should be our top priority.
All right, we are aware that in other climes, the Senate or the legislature can actually direct the executive to take certain actions, direct them, move a motion to that effect, and pass it. Let's see what the Senate will come out with, but always we say whatever they are doing is coming too little, too late. And of course, I know that as politicians, they will begin to be concerned because of the election that is coming up, how they want to be re-elected, what is their political future, and so let's see what they will do. Finally, on the paper review today, as we look at the analysis, May 2026, domestic production surges. That's on the News Direct, Nigerian News Direct. Domestic production surges as fuel imports, consumption plummet report. Now, what the report is saying is that there is increase in domestic production of fuel, which is good news.
Good news.
Then, of course, consumption and import has plummeted. Plummeted in the sense that it has reduced. We want to believe that that is a good news for the country, because petrol is one thing that almost everybody is consuming now.
It's a vital
if you don't
product.
consume it in your car because of the issue of epileptic supply of electricity, you consume it in your gen. And
for your business to
for
run
your
smoothly.
business places and everywhere is about fuel. So what do you say to that cheering news that domestic production is increasing? I don't know whether our refineries have started working. That's what they are saying.
That is where I was actually coming to say, okay, now we're having production on the high side, on the increase, we have more production going on. So where is this production actually taking place? Is it from our own refineries in the country that are they now functioning?
Okay.
Are refineries now functioning, or where exactly is this production taking place? And we're hearing that we have rise in production for the petroleum products. So yes, it's a good news.
Good news.
It's a welcome one.
Yeah.
And at least we're going to see that filling stations will begin to sell the price rates for this product will drop.
Yeah.
Will come down, and is also a welcome one, a good
That's
one
a welcome
for the
development.
citizens, a welcome development for the citizens. That at least this burden is dying down gradually, or is being taken off our shoulders gradually. So, not completely, because we've not seen the implementation of fuel price beating down. So yes, is a good one, is a welcome development, but we need to see these things being implemented, so we know that, okay, yes, we have the situation being taken care of in a very palatable way.
All right, success. One good thing I observe about this issue of petroleum products is that it's a long time we experienced long queues. That's the one I did not like at all. I don't know about many Nigerians, but a situation where you will be looking for petroleum products to buy.
You have the money,
you go to
and
the
you can't
filling
get
station.
it to buy.
You waste time there. Sometimes you lose your headlamp, the headlamp of your car, or somebody scratches your car.
Someone bashing you.
Some people will fight.
In the process of getting petroleum.
By the time you are buying, you still do matching. By that you mean you tip the
You tip,
attendant.
yes, the fare attendant.
It's like a whole day. Maybe as we are supposed to come to work now, we take an excuse because we are going to go and buy fuel. For a long time, especially through the Buhari administration, we didn't experience that. I'm happy about that, because it's very nauseating to go to the filling stations, queue for a long period of time, waste time, and of course, at the end of the day, maybe you end up fighting because you want to get products.
Some of the times you even end up not getting
not buying
the products.
Good. After a long queue, they stop selling while your car is still on the queue.
Almost half of the day, and you still end up not getting. So you have to go and come back. I could remember those days. It was terrible.
All right, so much on paper review for this morning. We'll be going on break again. We always ask you to stay with us.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. We go to
Flight
a flight schedule and success hazard.
On the flight schedule for today, we have Air Peace of Sabah to London at 6:50 p.m. to 6:20 a.m. 11 hours 40 minutes flight. So we have the one for 12 to 10 p.m. and 6 to 20 a.m. That's for 18 hours 10 minutes. We'll also have same Air Peace for 7:30 a.m. to 6:20 a.m. scheduled for 22 hours 50 minutes. Also, we have Asaba, London. London to Asaba, we have the 11:10 a.m., 8:10 a.m., 23 hours 20 minutes. We also have 11:10 a.m. To 2:40 p.m., 27 hours 30 minutes. Also 11:10 a.m. to 6 p.m., 30 hours 50 minutes. And Lagos Warri 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Warri Lagos 3:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Abuja Warri 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Warri Abuja 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Asaba Abuja, we have 8:50 a.m. to 9:50 a.m. We also have 3:20 p.m. to 4:20 p.m. Abuja to Asaba, 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Also, there is a flight for Abuja to Asaba for 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Then Lagos Asaba, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. 1:40 p.m. to 2:40 p.m. and also 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. We have Asaba to Lagos, 12:10 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. 7 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Also 6:40 p.m. to 7:40 p.m. For United Nigeria Airlines, we have Abuja Asaba for 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Asaba to Abuja for 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Same United Nigeria Airlines Lagos Asaba for 10:20 a.m. to 11:20 a.m. Also 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Asaba to Lagos for 8:40 a.m. to 9:40 a.m. We have from 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Abuja Warri 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Warri Abuja, we have 11:45 p.m. to 12:45 a.m. Also Lagos Warri, we have 10:10 a.m. to 11:10 a.m. Warri Lagos, we have 8:35 a.m. to 9:35 a.m. And on aero contractors, we have Asaba to Lagos, no flights. Okay, Lagos to Asaba, no flights for today. Abuja Asaba, we have from 12:15 p.m. to 1:15 p.m. Asaba to Abuja for 1:45 p.m. to 2:45 p.m. Eric Airways is having for this morning Lagos to Warri, no flights. Warri to Lagos, no flights. Lagos to Asaba, no flights. Asaba to Lagos, no flights. So we have Overland Airways, Abuja to Warri, no flights. Warri to Abuja, no flights. And we have, but from Lagos to Warri, we have for 7 a.m. to 7:40 a.m. Warri to Lagos, we have for 8:10 a.m. to 8:50 a.m. Rano Airways having Abuja Warri Abuja New. What we have from Lagos to Warri for 8:40 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. While Warri to Lagos, same Rano for 10 a.m. to 10:50 a.m. So we have Enugu Air is giving us a flight from Abuja to Warri for 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Warri to Abuja 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Lagos Warri 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Warri to Lagos 12:30 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Lagos Asaba 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Same around air for Asaba, Lagos 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Asaba to London, we have 6:50 p.m. to 6:20 a.m. 11 hours 40 minutes flight. We have 12:10 p.m. to 6:20 a.m. That's for 18 hours 10 minutes flight. And that's the flight schedule for today. Thank you. So Uzo, this is you can see the flight ranges and what do you think about the timing?
Yes, it's interesting because what caught my attention was that you can arrange your flight from Asaba to London. We look forward when you're on vacation. When I'm on vacation, we can actually travel conveniently from here. I know, of course, it's not going to be a direct flight that flying straight up from Asaba to London, but I'm sure we'll take off, get to Lagos or get to Abuja. From Abuja, we transit. But any which way you look at it, it's a very, very welcome development, especially for those of us who are into business, and of course, some of us who are across the Niger that like to fly to do our businesses. We will take another break, and we trust to come back. Please stay with us.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes.
Dot TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yeah, welcome back. And straight up, we're going to sports update, and we have our sports presenter par excellence, Anthony Uche, in the studio to give us update on what's happening in the sports world. You're welcome, Anthony.
My pleasure to be here, Mr. Ozo. Nice
Right.
to be with you guys. And of course, you know, the World Cup is ongoing, but I would like to start from the other sport, that is tennis, because there is an icon of the sport, perhaps a legend of the sport that is back. And Serena Williams officially got the wild card, the final singles wild card for Wimbledon this season. And she's going to play for the first time since 2022, you know, in the All London Club event. And of course, she has a very storied career. If you know Serena, her sister as well. Last week, as a matter of fact, it was also announced that the doubles wild card was also given to herself and Venus to play together as doubles partners, which can only be a good news for the fans of the sport and generally people who like good things, because like you said, she has a storied career, and that career spans across so many years, including 7 Wimbledon titles, which is such a remarkable feat. She lost her last 2 finals, but even before that, she had already amassed 7 titles. And then as doubles, she won 5 of those with her sister as well as her doubles partner. So it's, of course, age is no longer on the side. She's been a mother ever since she won her last Wimbledon title. But just for the fact that they are going to be at the SW19 is a very, very fantastic story for a lot of sports lovers, myself included. And then, of course, talking about historic moments, Egypt have won the Africa Cup of Nations 7 times in their history, played at the World Cup for over 90 years, but for some reason they've not won a single World Cup game. But that trend was bucked early this morning when they defeated New Zealand by 3-1. They had to do it the hard way because they fell behind early in the game. But of course, courtesy of the hour, as you can see on the screen, an absolute legend of the sport and an absolute legend of Egyptian football, Mohamed Salah. He scored and provided an assist to Zizou and also, you know, to Mohamed Trezeguet, and generally very, very good nights if you're in America, but very, very good early morning in North Africa if you're Egyptian, waking up this morning to the news that you finally broken that trend of not winning a World Cup game. Yes. And talking about the coach as well, Hassan Hussein, who is a legend of Egyptian football as well. He was their striker for many of those Africa Cup of Nations titles that they won. He's now the coach himself alongside his brother. It's almost like this show is turning into a siblings program. But he himself and his brother as his assistant, he did a very fantastic job yesterday. They were struggling against the New Zealanders, and at halftime, he made a sub, very, very sensitive sub. He put the person who eventually equalized for Egypt in Zizou, put him down the middle, and Mo Salah playing on the right instead of playing 2 of them up front. And as soon as he did that in the second half, the results showed, and Egypt equalized, and that set them on their way to eventually win that game. And then, of course, talking about Africa as well, doing really proud. Cape Verde, if you thought what they did against Spain was a flash in the pan, they have something else coming, because yesterday night they went behind twice against Uruguay and they came back twice to equalize to earn yet another point. And that means that going into their last game against Saudi Arabia, there's a very, very big possibility that Cape Verde, in their very first World Cup appearance, will make it to the round of 32. I mean, if that is not magnificent, I don't know what else is. And then, of course, the results as well that from yesterday, aside from the Cape Verde draw with Uruguay, Spain finally arrived. It took them a while, but they finally arrived. And then, courtesy of Lamine Yamal, they beat, he scored the very first goal, and then Mikel Oyarzabal scored 2 more, as well as, another goal from Spain to make it a 4-0 thumping of Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia played a very defensive game against Uruguay in the first game, ground out a 1-1 draw, And yesterday they came in trying to play the same pattern, but obviously it backfired. And as soon as they knew it, I mean, they were behind. After 25 minutes, they were 3-0 down. So that's how quickly their tactics backfired on the night, and eventually they were not able to recover it. As you can see on that screen, there were also two other results that went down yesterday, including that between the Netherlands beating the Netherlands winning Liverpool. Okay, we've already touched on that. The other game was between Belgium and Iran. Belgium had a man sent off, but still hold on to a point against Iran, an Iranian national team who, if you know the backstory before the World Cup between the Iran and the United States of America, and the reasons and all of the difficulties they've been going through because of the very, very difficult relationships between the two leaders of the two countries, they still haven't lost a game as well. Played 2-2 draw against New Zealand in the opening World Cup game, and yesterday against one of the very, very strongest teams in Europe, Belgium. Yes, the likes of Romelu Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, Yuri Tillemans, they got a point in that game. And of course, as they were already told from their very first game, you play, you fly back to Mexico barely hours after playing the game, and that is a nightmare for footballers. But still, Team Melli are trying to do as much as they can to make their people proud. And then, of course, you look ahead to the games that will come on today, because, I mean, it is a World Cup, and for the next 1 month, we have games after games after games.
It's soccer fiesta.
Exactly. Defending champions after demolishing Algeria make their second appearance at the tournament when they take on, of course, the defending champions are Argentina, and they will take on Austria, who also got a very good start to their World Cup campaign after 52 years. This is their first World Cup after a very long time, like I said, 52 years. And the team coached by Ralf Rangnick, if you remember him from his time at Manchester United, they beat Jordan 3-1 in their first game, and their second game is not going to be an easy test, but we'll see what happens. That will kick off at 6 p.m. Nigerian time, and then, of course, at 10 p.m. Nigerian time, France will play against Iraq. What you think will happen in that game is probably what I think will happen in that game. So let's move on to another one. 1 o'clock tomorrow morning.
You can never predict, because
I don't think
France is going to have a good run on that game, but let's watch and see. Let's keep our fingers.
If Iran gets even as much as a goal in that game, it is such a big achievement for them. Of course, you look. I don't need to mention the names of the players in the squad. You just know France has a very studded squad. So, like I said, if Iran gets something from that game in any way, shape, or manner, be it just a goal, be it a point, or even 3, it will be some achievement for them. Then, of course, Norway will also play against Senegal in France's group. And Senegal, starting off to a bad start, had a very good first half against France. But if you don't take the chances they failed to take, you get punished the way they were punished. And, today they will have another opportunity at, redeeming themselves. But it won't be easy. Norway beat Iraq by 4-1 in their first game. And there's a certain Erling Haaland in that team, to mention but a few. And then, of course, the final game will kick off 4 a.m. tomorrow morning in Nigerian time. It is Jordan versus Algeria. Algeria got Messi'd in their first game. Let me just put it that way, because that was a hat-trick from Messi that, ultimately ended the game for them. So they have another opportunity this time, Vladimir Petkovic to, get at least a point going into the final group game, because there's a possibility that if Algeria loses tonight or early tomorrow morning, the end of their World Cup, we already have Tunisia knocked out as an African nation. I don't want Algeria to join them as quickly as possible.
I'm talking about Serena Williams. It's a good one. Like, that is what really struck me that much, that after retiring, I think that was like
she didn't actually announce her retirement. She
She
just took a break.
Yes.
And a lot of people assumed, she had retired.
I think she took a break.
Left off,
but officially,
really?
she didn't.
Officially,
the striking
it
thing
wasn't.
is that she came back and she's still winning.
Yeah, she came back 2 weeks ago.
Winning. 2 weeks ago, and she's still winning.
Yeah, she won the first game of her return. She said she doesn't have singles in her yet, as of 2 weeks ago, because she announced her return during Roland Garros, the French Open that was going on. It ended about 2 weeks ago, and in the final week of Roland Garros, it was announced that she was going to be back and she will play doubles with a young talent, a Canadian named Victoria Mboko. She did play with Victoria Mboko. They won their first game. Unfortunately, Victoria Mboko picked an injury playing her own singles game the day after, so she had to pull out for injury reasons, and that was the end of their partnership. But the sensations are good. She's got back. She won a game, albeit as a double, and she said herself she's not sure she has the power to play singles in her yet. Having seen what that woman have done over the years, I won't be surprised. I won't be surprised if she comes back and she starts winning.
Yeah,
from the
talking
start.
about the
She come- yes.
Nigerian spirit in sports.
Yeah.
We're making waves. That's a Nigerian woman by all standards. And of course, the World Cup, even if we didn't attend the World Cup, there's an interesting aspect. The opening ceremony, we're lavishly there represented by our musicians.
As
Over and above that,
artists.
we have so many of our Nigerian-born footballers or people of Nigerian origin playing for other countries.
Yes.
Like the Austria game you're talking about now. We have Alaba there.
Yes.
I think there's another Nigerian there.
Kenny
We
Chukwuemeka.
have the likes of Musiala playing for Germany. Many of them,
Michael
just like
Olise
that.
playing for
What's
France.
your take? Does that excite you?
It doesn't really excite me. I will want my country to be at the World Cup as my
Exactly.
country.
But we are making waves.
No, we're not. It's not. It's not.
Making our
We're
point.
not. We're playing for other
Uzo,
countries.
Mr. Uzo, it is quite
Oh,
embarrassing
yes.
that the World Cup got expanded from 32 to 46 to 48
And
teams.
Nigeria was not
Nigeria
included.
didn't make
Nigeria
it.
wasn't
Africa used to have
included.
5 representatives at the
Yes.
World Cup, 6 maximum. It was expanded this time around. Africa has 10 participants at the World Cup. Nigeria is not
Nigeria
there.
was
Nigeria is
not
not
there.
So I don't want to take any consolation really because it gives a false sense of accomplishment that I think is not good for Nigerian football. Something is wrong.
Something is really
And
wrong.
we have to admit and insist that something is wrong for something to change.
Now,
And
when we say something is wrong, does that have to do with the attitude of our players or the administration of football? In
The
this
players
country?
are-
what is the problem?
the blame is to go across board,
Okay.
but the players are the last people to get a share of that blame.
Okay.
It trickles down from the very top, and that top is the NFF.
The,
You think
the
so?
management.
Yes, the NFF
football
down to
administration.
the administrators, down to the league of the country, down to the manager, and then ultimately to the players. Everybody gets a share in the blame, but I think about 50% of it is to the federation because you have to prepare the players. The players are. I don't want to demean them because they're human beings, but then they can also be tools.
Yes.
If you do not prepare them properly, they can't give you the results
That's
you
right.
want. So if the people at the NFF fail to do what they were supposed to do on many occasions, I will start with the fact that Nigeria doesn't have a training ground, no training complex, training facility. If you look at France, they have what they call the Clairefontaine training facility.
Yeah.
England have St. George's Park. So many other countries have places that, come what may, you know that's where you're going to train if you want to play with the national team. But Nigeria, we keep moving them from Uyo to Asaba to Abuja. It
I
doesn't-
won't
one
agree with
location
you
to the
totally,
other.
Anthony.
No, I don't mean, I know what you're trying to say,
Yeah,
but
no,
playing matches is different from training. When I say
Training.
training base,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about.
No,
You
Okay,
can spread the
Having
match
a
across
training
different.
base, like
Yes.
Nigeria having a training
Yes.
base for
Now, let's come from
players
this
to
angle.
train for World Cup
Yes,
matches and
exactly.
so on.
Let's come from this angle. Let's take Cabo Verde, that's Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Do you want to say they have more training pitches, structures than Nigeria?
That's not
I
what
think the problem we have is that the level of motivation that our players have. We have star players playing in big leagues in Europe
Yeah.
and other places. How come we are not able to assemble them to achieve for us? So it's practically an issue of administration.
Let me
and
tell you.
the
Let me tell you.
motivation.
Let me tell you. Like I said, there is a lot of people to blame for this, but the administration is part of it. I will give you an instance. 2002 France national team. You remember the stars on that team:
Yes.
Lilian Thuram, Didier Deschamps, Zinedine Zidane,
Zidane.
Frank Ribéry. So many of those players play in the best leagues in the world. They were really good. They had a very good team. They got knocked out of group stages.
Yeah.
2010, Florian Malouda, Patrice Evra, who played at United at the time. So many of these other players who were fantastic. Frank Ribéry,
David Trezeguet.
exactly, doing their jobs at the big levels. Even Thierry Henry at some point
Yeah.
played for the French national team. They got knocked out at the group stage. It's administrative. You can have all the talent in the world. Talent has never been a problem for
Sure.
Nigeria.
That's what I was
Talent
saying,
has never
administration.
been a problem in Nigeria. But if you fail to harness those talents properly,
Exactly.
is either another country snatch them away from you or they play for you and then they don't deliver because results need to be harnessed. You're talking about them playing in the best clubs in the league, all over the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen the training facilities of those countries, those clubs? World class.
That's what I'm saying.
So
they
if you don't-
they should
if-
import the expertise.
If for instance I play at a club, Real Madrid, let's say per se, and Real Madrid every week I have everything I need. As soon as I wake up 6 a.m., I'm going to training. I have the gym ready for me. I have the field ready. I have the balls. I have everything I need ready. I even have a physiotherapist to take care of me as soon as I'm done from the pitch. My level of performance is going to be as high as it possibly can because I have no excuse whatsoever not to perform. But then I come back to Nigeria, they never cut grass, they never ball never ready, and then you finish playing. If you have Do you know the Super Eagles players do not have health insurance covering them?
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you get injured representing
All
your
right,
national team,
all
your
right.
club
I
either
think,
takes care of you
I
or you're
think
in
that's the
trouble.
much that time can
So
permit
you don't
us.
expect them to perform at the
On
same
sports
level.
update, thank you,
My pleasure.
Anthony Uche. Of course, success. Thank you for being there. I see the level of participation you're having in sports. Well, we take a break. When we come back, we shall be having business updates. Stay with us.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Amazon from Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli, coming in here. This will be 3 for Arsenal.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Welcome back, and we'll proceed to business updates. And of course, our presenter is here, Louisa Asidi. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you for awesome welcome.
Okay.
Good to see you, Louisa.
Oh, good to see you too.
Trust you're doing okay.
I'm doing all right.
You look so charming this morning.
Yes, I did wake up on a very wonderful note this morning.
I can see that all over you.
Yeah, thank
So what
you.
business has for us today?
Starting off with news from the CBN, Nigeria's foreign reserves have risen to the highest level in 17 years. Central bank figures show gross reserves passed $51 billion this week, the strongest position since 2009. Reserves have gained more than $1 billion this month alone, extending from a growth that began from May down to this present month. A larger reserve gives the central bank more room to support the naira and to cover the country's import and debt payments. A steadier currency, in turn, eases some of the pressure on the cost of what Nigeria buys from abroad, among them fuel, food, and medicine. The bank attributes the build-up to stronger foreign exchange inflows and the government's wider reforms. It had set $51 billion as its target for the whole of 2026, a mark now reached within half the year still yet to run. Analysts welcomed the figure but urged caution, warning that our reserves remain too dependent on foreign investors whose money can leave as quickly as it arrives, and call for Nigeria to build its buffers from what the country earns from exports. Now to the stock market. Last week was one of Nigeria's stock market's worst weeks of the year so far. The all-share index fell 3.59% to just under 236,000 points, wiping about 5.6 trillion naira off the value of Nigerian shares in a single week. That takes the losses for June so far to roughly 9 trillion naira, erasing everything the market had gained in May. Of all the shares that traded last week, just 11 rose while 78 fell. The heaviest damage was among the banks. The banking index lost 10.49% over the week, its steepest drop of the year. First Holding Company fell just over 20% to 55 naira, and Guaranteed Trust Company dropped 15% to around 115 naira. One reason for the sell-off is simple: profit taking. The market had climbed more than 60% by May, and investors are now cashing in those gains. And one-year government treasury bills now paying about 17%. Fund managers are pulling cash out of shares and into that safer fixed return. The latest sale drew bids of more than 1.8 trillion naira. But the banks are a different story. They fell after the central bank proposed tough new rules for the holding companies that own Nigeria's biggest banks, among them Access, Guaranteed Trust, First Holding Company, and FCMB. To explain why that single proposal triggered such heavy selling, I'm joined by capital market analyst Charles Faruga.
Thank you very much. You will recall that a market will not continue to be bullish. There are market cycle, and for last week, as you have mentioned, we saw a lot of profit taking because investors need to take profit they have made so far. However, it became a little bit different what we saw this particular week, where the banking sector, banking stocks were really bleeding. Now, this was as a result of CBN coming up with a policy which we call ring fencing. And the policy is not intended to make the bank has problem. It's to protect companies that are operating the old code structure. That is, CBN is saying, we want you to protect your banking subsidiary from other subsidiaries in case there are issues, maybe in your investment banking or your real estate or in your other subsidiaries have issues. They don't want it to affect the core banking operation. That is the bank in that subsidiary. And that is why CBN came with that rule. And what the rule states is that, yes, for the old code, the holding company, you must have at least 51% in each of these your subsidiaries. At the same time, you need to increase your own share capital by 20%. So that means that the whole code, which is non-operating, it's just holding the subsidiaries together. So CBN is putting more safeguards, more risk control on this OLCO so that their banking subsidiaries will be protected. And that calls for new capital restructuring, new capital increase. And that is why you can see that most investors do not really understand that rule. And that's why you are seeing sell-off. But we believe that with time, investors will come to realize the wisdom in the new ring fencing policy of CBN.
Investors fear that to meet those rules, some banks may have to raise fresh money by issuing new shares, leaving existing shareholders with a smaller size of the company. Rather than wait to find out, many funds sold off banking stocks last week. But a few stocks still held their ground. Cornerstone Insurance rose 11%, lifted by its full-year results, while Corn Oil and Academic Press also closed higher. For all the red on the board, the market is still up more than 51% for the year, one of the strongest performers of any major exchange in the world in 2026. Analysts call this a correction, investors taking profit after a long rally, rather than a sign that anything is fundamentally wrong. And finally, to crude oil. Figures from the central bank show Nigeria brought in $1.39 billion worth of crude in the first 3 months of the year, more than 4 times what it spent in the previous quarter. The Dangote refinery is the main driver. The plant is importing the crude it refines from overseas, bypassing Nigerian producers because foreign oil is currently cheaper and, according to the Refiners Association, works better with the refinery's equipment. That imported crude is what's feeding the plant, but the fuller picture is more encouraging. Nigeria's spending on imported petrol and diesel has fallen, down almost 88% in the first quarter, because far more fuel is now being refined at home. Nigeria also earned more than before from selling refined fuel abroad. So Nigeria is refining its own fuel again, but for now, it's buying foreign oil to do so. That's everything from us here at the Business Desk. See you next time. I am Louisa Asidi. Back to you.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Yeah. Dott TV. Yeah.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
From Harrison. That is a massive world record. Martinelli goes, boys, out of his goal. Martinelli! This will be 3 for Arsenal.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yeah, welcome back again. Thank you for staying with us through this morning. We are having one of us in the studio, of course, of our business desk. We want to look at some takeaways from the business update we just saw. In the studio is Ewo Mazino Iroro of our sports desk. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
You're looking good.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
All right.
We're happy to have you, Zeno.
Thank you so much.
Your smile is so amazing this morning. Yeah.
All right, straight to business. There were 2 takeaways that will interest Nigerians from the business update. The first is that local production of crude petroleum products has increased, especially premium motor spirit, which is fuel. It has increased. It's cheering news. But I'm sure Nigerians will wonder if it's increasing. Is it that Dangote is increasing its scope of production, or our refineries are now working? How do we come by that?
Our refineries are now working, actually.
Okay.
It's been incredible. I think the last time we had refineries working in the country was decades and decades ago.
Okay.
So now we're producing our own fuel, we're producing our own diesel, and we're producing our own jet engine fuel.
Okay.
It's so much that we're actually exporting, and we're one of the top exporters in the world for jet fuel. But the problem is we're still buying a lot of crude oil, even though we produce crude oil naturally in the country.
Okay.
Dangote says that his refinery's equipment doesn't really work very well with Nigerian Brent crude, and that Nigerian crude is a bit too expensive. So he's buying instead from Lome, from Togo, from elsewhere, and importing that in, then refining it and selling it to us. So technically, it is costing us a bit more money, but at least we have our own locally refined petrol products.
Wonderful. So that means Dangote is the only source of production
For now, yes.
that is increasing.
For now.
All right. Success.
That's
Can you take
amazing.
it?
So, talking about the Nigeria's foreign reserve, we heard it just risen from
All-time highest.
Yes, very. That's what it's. What do you have to say about that?
It's incredible. We've passed $50 billion right now as our. So think of the foreign reserves as like the country's savings account.
Yes.
Yeah.
That will buffer us from any kind of ill financial effects that might come about. So the more we have, the safer we feel. And it also buffers the naira against the dollar as well. So it helps with traders, it helps with everything. It's incredible. The last time we had foreign reserves this high was, I think, 2009. So this is a very exciting time. The hope, though, is that the people who gave us that money, so the money isn't exactly ours, that's investors' money. If investors choose to pull out that money, we're in trouble. But for now, everything is looking good.
Yeah, actually, the strength of any country is in its foreign reserves, especially for developing countries in the globe, where their currency is always against the dollar or the other currencies like euro. But if we don't have it in high reserve, that means we can trade. We can produce. We can import equipment. We can involve in all manner of production of raw materials. So let's believe that's buffer the economy. But what we have seen in Nigeria is that we hear this news of increase in our foreign reserve. But does it trickle down to good life for the average Nigerian?
That's a very good question. The reality is probably no. You may not feel the difference, even if our reserves are at $80 billion.
Okay.
But what it does mean is that it's less likely to affect you price-wise. Like, prices won't keep skyrocketing every time because we have our own shore of dollars.
Okay.
So we're not hurting for dollars. So the naira will be steadier. You're less likely to see your prices keep shooting up month on month. Inflation is still an issue, but reserves don't really affect day-to-day life. What does affect day-to-day life will be actions like, back to the crude oil story, if our government subsidized Dangote's ability to buy raw crude from us, although we already have a lot of our crude earmarked for different purposes. We have them already set out to be sold to different people, and we have loans against our crude wells.
Okay.
So Dangote has to like hustle to get the oil. That's why it's just so much simpler for him to just buy from abroad. Those type of little changes would actually impact the life of every average Nigerian. If he's able to buy Nigerian crude at a good enough price, then the price of petrol will come down. Therefore, the price of refilling your everything will come down.
Trickles down.
Our economy runs on oil more than the foreign reserves.
Yeah. Not only our economy, every economy, because it's on energy. Because if you, for instance, if you have, it's from some of these petroleum products that they stabilize electricity supply. If electricity is there, everybody can run their production. The small woman the woman that is doing hairdressing in the corner can do without running the gen, which gives her lesser cost of production. Services and all that, transportation costs will go down. Thank you for being there,
Thank you so much for having me.
Some other time. Well, viewer, keep staying with us. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, Morning Dew continues.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
we impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
Dott Entertainment, your weekly dose of pure fun, airing every Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Saturdays, 10 p.m. to 11 p.m. Only on Dott TV.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News Hour, your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, we're welcome back, and we have been on since the morning, Morning Dew, and of course, bringing you stories from the newspapers that made the headlines. And of course, there was news updates, and we had our analysis on the papers, which we looked at first the issue of Father's Day celebration. And there we talked about a sermon that reminded men that being a father is not just about control. And of course, you have something to say about that. Can you do a recap on that?
Yes, being a father is not just acting that you are in charge. It's your ability to able to put your family together and recognize the place of the mother and also your children, and also most importantly provide for your family, because it is there to say, if you can't for you to know that yes, you are in charge of your home, you should be able to provide for your family, ensure they have the best of life. Yes, being a father, because one thing I know, that fathers are backbones.
Yeah.
Yes, they are also pillars. They set um they set the pace for the children to follow, and also take part how the home should be run, because the Bible says, train up your child and
In the
to
way he should
where he
go,
should go, and when he grows up,
he will not
it will
depart
not
from it.
depart from it. So having you know good children in the society today also depends on how fathers or parents actually impact in the lives of their children. So Father's Day is one day to actually to be celebrated all over the world. And I think like I want to suggest more, not
Yeah,
just once in
you
a
said
year.
it should be done at least 3 times a year.
Yes.
Thank you
yes.
for that. I hope all the fathers there will feel gratified by your own suggestion. We also looked at a story about the coming back of the governor of Ekiti State, Biodun Oyebanji, who won election just at the weekend. They are returning as the first governor to come back to have a second term in Ekiti State. That must have been a very volatile state. Yeah, what's your take on that again?
Yes, because from the papers, I said the governor, has his own strides before now in infrastructure and development in the area as a governor. And he didn't despise a place of grassroots campaign. Before the election day, before the day coming through, he has been on this grassroots thing, like seeing all the traditional rulers he needs to meet with, youths and so on, even market women.
Yeah.
So I also want to encourage
So
other.
he did his homework well.
He did his homework. He has this background work to do, and he did it well. So him coming back is a sign of victory for the APC and as a party, and the governor democracy in Ekiti State. So having him return, yes, is a good step, is a bold one for him, and is a win-win for him as well. So he should keep up the good work.
All right. Of course, I agree with you that for him to be returned in a state where nobody has gained a second term,
Exactly.
it shows that he worked and is popular with the people.
Yes.
All right. We also brought you a report that talked about the Senate reconvening this week, and top on the agenda is the issue of security. And we also on this platform told them that there's a need to actually, take steps and come out with, motions directing the executive arm of government to take proactive steps to end insecurity now. That was one of the things that came up in the papers, and of course we did justice to it.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Then
And,
finally there was this issue of Trump.
Yes.
Trump telling our British UK Prime Minister to resign because of the intra-party dispute and squabbles.
Is he really telling him to resign, or is helping him to announce his resignation?
There are two ways to it. Is it a scammer that wants to resign? A scammer that wants to resign, or is Trump that is telling him to resign?
Trump is telling him to resign because the people said he didn't have this popularity anymore. Yeah. So, and Trump is now pointing out his own areas where he feels yes, Keir Starmer should resign as a prime minister because he has to face the Labour Party, and since he's not doing well in the area of immigration and oil facilities and all, so he needs to resign. Why would you not have popularity in the first place?
All right, so much we did from the papers. Of course, there was also this aspect of Motoku, the indigenous policing in the Odua area. saying they've surrounded the bush where the abducted school children are being held. Well, we say hope, and we are hoping that in a few days to come, we hear results that they are released. We don't know what they are. We don't want to know what they are doing. We want to see results.
Exactly.
That's that about the papers.
Exactly.
And of course, we also brought you post update where Anthony Uche made us know that for the first time, Egypt had their win in World Cup. Kudos to Egypt. Kudos to Africa. Well, a few of them are doing well. And then just recently, the last bit, we had Louisa and Zeno of our business desk come to do justice about updates in the business circles in Nigeria. Two good news came up. One is that the Naira, our foreign reserve has gone high.
Yes.
What's the second one?
The production.
Local production of
local
product.
production of products.
So much we brought you this morning. Thank you for staying with us. We'll do it again tomorrow. Success.
Yes.
It's been a warm morning.
It's been a warm morning.
Thank you for being there.
A beautiful one.
It's
Thank you for being here as well.
Can I check you out?
Thank you for being here. And
all right.
yes.
We give kudos to Chika. Of course, Aaron is there, Nkechi is there, all in the background, making sure that we come out well, we sound out well. Kudos to everybody. And for the entire Dott television crew, we want to thank you for all the input that brought up our program this morning. See you tomorrow. Bye for now, viewer.
Bye for now. Your day just got started.
This is your station. This is Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV. Dott TV.
Dott TV, the heart of the matter.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
This is your station. This is